Hey everyone, Donkey Storm here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the 9.1.5 patch, particularly in regards to healer balance. So I want to start off by saying I think 9.1.5 is going to be an awesome patch with lots of cool things that we've been asking for forever, and I'm super excited for it. I do feel like Blizzard is missing the mark a little bit with their healing balance. So I wanted to go over that today, in particular with regard to Mythic Plus. So I think if you were to, poll the community right now and ask them who are the best Mythic Plus healers, they would probably give you something that looks like this. Paladin, squarely in the S tier, right? um, Restoration Shaman a little bit behind that, and then Disc kind of the best of the rest. Maybe you would do this, maybe you would do this, with then Resto and Holy, and I think Mistweaver bringing up the rear. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with all this, but I think this is the perception. Now, if we take a look at Raider IO, we see a similar story. A lot of pink on here. There's Jack repping the Holy Priest. Nice job, Jack. We've got a Shaman here, and as we move down the pages, we have a sea of pink with a smattering of blue and some familiar names of priests. Looks like we got quite a ways to go before we see anything other than that. So, see, we're rounding out the top 100. Still no druids, no monks. So I think this is a pretty accurate representation of the highest tier of healer. Now, you might be saying, well, that doesn't matter for 99% of the player base, and I totally agree with that. Any of these healers can be viable up to a pretty high level. The problem is that when this is the perception of healers, there's a trickle-down effect, and nobody wants to invite Mistweaver monks or holy priests or resto druids or whatever, because from their perspective, if you're not, one of these two, maybe three, it's not worth it. So this does affect everybody. Unfortunately, it's dumb. It shouldn't, but it does. So there are some things that I was hoping would change with 9.1.5, and it doesn't seem like it's going to, at least not yet. So looking at the PTR notes so far, we have some, don't get me wrong, awesome stuff changing. The AoE cap going away, fantastic. Super excited about it. From a healer perspective, the one you want to have a look at here is Swipe. This is going to be a big deal for Resto Druids. It's going to help them do a lot more AoE damage. So super excited for that. And then we have lots of Covenant Conduit buffs. So, and as far as I know, no nerfs. So let's take a look through these. So for Druids, 4 new travel forms, amazing. Can't wait to see them. Well-honed instincts, Conduit's going to be all specs, so you can get it no matter what spec you are. Again, super cool. Adaptive Swarm is kind of getting a quality of life change. So nothing that I see here, except for the AoE cap removal, is going to really change the Druid's placement on here. It's going to be nice. Is it going to be enough to put it in front of Disc? I don't think so. So let's look at some of our other friends here. Monk. Way of the Fae is getting 100% increase, so I think most monks these days are running Venthyr. I don't think this is going to change that, and it's probably not going to pull them out of this spot, right? That Conduit change is not. I mean, what do they hope for? That, maybe. But again, it's all about perception. Let's take a look at Paladin. So they're getting all of their other Covenant Conduit's buffed. When I say other, I mean non-Venthyr. So Necrolord, 400% increased healing there. Blessing of Seasons, Night Fae ability, with some pretty major buffs. I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen these before because nobody plays them. I can't imagine what percent it would take to overtake Ashen Hallow, right? It's just an amazing ability. It does a ton of damage, and it doesn't take away from your ability to heal. And that damage profile right there is why you see Paladins on top of everything. So, are we taking Paladins off this spot? Definitely not. Definitely not. They're still going to be up here. Priest, so Festering Transfusion, getting 100% increase. I actually run this since I play Necrolord Holy, so I can double his Shadow. And I do use this Conduit already, and it is going to be a modest damage increase. Again, is it going to change this? No, I don't think it would even do that, because Resto Druid is also getting a damage buff. So, and then if we talk about Discipline, Divine Star and Contrition are getting some buffs. Probably not going to be enough to overtake the talent that's usually taken on that row. And then Shadow Covenant could be cool. This does kind of help with Disc's difficulty they have sometime of just making the healing bars go up. So I like this change. I do think this is going to be a little bit more competitive. Is it going to change this in any way? I don't think so. Especially not when we see what's coming next. So for Shaman, Elysian Dirge Conduit is being increased by 50%. So if you haven't played a Kyrian Resto Shaman yet, you should check it out because they are amazing. And buffing that particular Conduit by 50% might actually do something like this. So Shaman, which are already amazing Mythic Plus healers, are going to be able to do even more damage. Now they still have to actually, take away from their healing a little bit to do that damage. So what I imagine is going to be the case after this all takes place is going to be, it's going to look like this, maybe like that, or maybe like this. But generally, you're going to have the same kind of stale Mythic Plus meta that we've had since the beginning of Shadowlands, which is a bummer. And I hope that Blizzard maybe takes another look at some of these things and thinks about how to bring the healing classes more in line from a damage perspective, because I think in Shadowlands, tank balance, fantastic. DPS balance, solid. Healer balance has been kind of the one thing that they haven't quite gotten right yet. And I know from a raid perspective, this looks a little bit different. It probably looks more like that. But since I'm focusing on Mythic Plus here, I think that all this patch is going to do is solidify, really, these big two. And you're going to have something that looks like this. I think Resto needs more help from a healing tuning standpoint, as well as damage. I think Holy needs help from a damage perspective. I think Mistweaver needs a lot of things. I think Disc is closer, and I think they're on the right track with Disc. I think they are on the right track with Disc, so I'll give them that. But, I mean, to be honest, I think Ashen Hallow needs to be brought in line a little bit more. I know they already nerfed it in 9.1, but we can see, like, the numbers don't lie. And like I'm saying, if you're talking about your average pug, does it matter? No. Invite whoever you want. But the problem is people see this, right, and they say, oh, I need to get a Holy Paladin. And it's a dumb attitude for sure, but you can't deny me that it exists. So I'm not super thrilled about the 9.1.5 healing balance that I'm seeing, and I really do hope that we see some additional changes. And there's plenty of time. Lots could change, so I'm interested to know your guys' thoughts on this. Leave a comment in the comments section if you have any thoughts, or if you agree with me, or if you think if you got any ideas for changes. I'd love to hear them. And until next time, this has been Donkey Storm. Thanks for watching.